Hello everyone, welcome to the part 2 video on NumPy. In this, we will see some more operations on NumPy and arrays. So first, I'm going to create an array with the values from 5 to 20 and I'm storing it to a variable ARR. Now ARR has the values from 5 to 20. Now I am writing a code and see what happens. So this code will take out the values present in indexes 5 to 11. We have to note that this will not include the value which is present in position 12. So you can check here. The value present in index 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 10. From 10 it has started and it is taking the value till 11th index. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it has taken out these values. Okay. Now I will write another code. So it has taken the value in index 5, which is 10. Now guess what this code will take out. Yes, it will take out the value in the 8th position or 8th index. Now I am writing another code. What does this colon mean? This colon means take out all the values from array which is after index 5, which means it will print all the values present in index 5 to the last. Now I will write another code. Now what does this mean? What does this colon mean? Here the operation is different. Here it will take all the values from the beginning to the 4th index. Here you have to note that it will not include the 5th index value. Here it will only take from the beginning to the 4th index. So here the colon means to the last. Here the colon means from the first. Okay. Now suppose, what if I want to take out more than one value from the array? Let us check. I want to take out the value from 1, 3 and 5 positions and I am executing the code. So it will throw us an error. This is because when we specify more than one index, we must give it inside a list of list, which means we have to give it like this. And if we execute this, it will take the value which is present in 1, 3 and 5 indexes. Okay. Next we are going to make an array with some negative values. So I am going to name it as array2 and it is an array with some negative values also. So we'll put some negative values. So this is the first list. Now I'm going to make one more list and again one more list with some more negative values. If I execute this, you can see the array is created. Now let us see what happens when we try to take out the values in similar fashion like we have done just before. So I am taking out the second index value and let's see what happens. It takes out an entire row instead of a value. This is because in the previous case the shape was different for the array and it is again different in this case. Here we have rows and columns. It took out third row or the row with the index value 2 from the array. By default, Python will take it in the rows direction. Now I will give one more code. So this took out the first row or the row with index value 0 from the array. Now what if we want to take out multiple rows? Then similarly we have to give it as a list of lists, which is denoted by this code. So please keep in mind that we must give the index values and not the number of rows. Now we have seen how to take out rows. Now suppose if we have to take out columns, how can we do that? It can be done by using this equation. This denotes that take out from ARR to all rows of the second column or the column with index value 1. ARR to of all rows of third index. Now this will take out all the rows of the third column. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. This is the third column. The values are 4, 3, minus 5. So 4, 3, minus 5. It has taken out this. Now what will happen if I give a code like this? It will take out the value which is present in the index 1, 1. So if you print ARR2, you can see that the value present in 1, 1 is 2. Next, we are creating an array with the values from 10 to 82 with a step count of 2. So I am storing it into array3 lp.array 10 to 82 with a step count of 2. You can see values from 10 to 82. So since we have given the step count as 2, it has displayed only up to 80. Now we have a function called len. I am using len of ARR3. This will display the total number of elements present in the array. So ARR3 has 36 elements. Now we are reshaping the array created to a 6 by 6 array using this equation. I am storing it back to ARR3 and I am reshaping ARR3 6, 6. So this will reshape ARR3 to a 6 by 6 array and it will store it to ARR3. So here you can see it has 36 elements. So the product of these two should be this. So 6 into 6 is 36. So you can do this. We have executed the code and I will check ARR3. So you can see it is arranged as a 6 by 6 array. Now we will see some more operations on this. What will this take out? It takes out all the rows of the first and third column. That is the columns with index value 0 and 2. Now we will see one more code of similar fashion, and the only difference is here I am using a colon instead of comma. Now we will see what is the difference. It has showed me an error. This is because this bracket is not necessary. So this is enough. So see what is the difference. Here in the second code, this will take out all the values of all the rows of columns 1 and 2. That is the column with index value 0 and 1. Here it will take out specifically these two columns. Whereas in this it will take out the columns from this to 1 minus this. That means from 0 to 1. Okay, so that is the difference between these two codes. Now we will see one more code. Now what this will take out? Now this will give you the values of all the columns of first and second row, that is the rows with index 0 and 1. So this column denotes from the beginning to 1 minus this in case of rows, and after comma you have the columns. So this column represents all the columns. So you have to be very careful when you use commas, colons and brackets while taking out data from an array, because each time the function of all these varies. Now I am creating another array, array 4. I am giving some random values. Now my ARR4 has these values. We have some built-in function which will give the sum of all the elements present in the array, which is ARR4.sum. So the sum of all the elements in this array is 170. We can also use the sum function which is available with NumPy to calculate the sum of elements of the array, and the code is np.sum of ARR4. This is also possible. So similar is the case with mean. We have mean function both with arrays and NumPy. So ARR4.mean. This will give you the mean, np.mean of ARR4. This will also give you the mean. But when it comes to median, arrays do not have a median function. ARR4.median will give you an error. It will say that NumPy array object has no attribute median, whereas you have the median in NP. So np.median of ARR4 will give you the median. Now you can see that ARR4 is like this. Now I am reshaping it into a 2 by 2 array. Now if you check ARR4, it is like this, and if I check for the sum, it will give you 170. That is the sum of the total of all the elements. What if I want the sum row wise or column wise? How can we do that? That can be specified by using axis keyword. So if I am using by specifying axis equals 1, it will give you the sum with respect to the x-axis. So you can see here 40 plus 38, it is 78, and 42 plus 50 is 92. Now if you want it along the y-axis, you can do it like this. So here you can see 38 plus 42 is 80, and 40 plus 50 is 90. You can also do it without specifying axis like this also. This is also correct. Now I am displaying my array 3. I am doing a scalar operation here. What will happen? Will it throw me an error, or will it add 5 to all the elements? Let us check. Adding a scalar value to all the elements of an array is also easy. So we have done it here. Similarly, we can do subtraction also. Multiplication and division. All of this are possible with arrays. Now I am writing another code. Guess what this will do? Yes, it will replace all the elements of the 6th row, that is the row with index value 5, with minus 9. Now array 3 has negative values. Now we will discuss what is absolute function. So for that we have np.abs of ARR3. So what absolute function will do is it will neglect all the negative values that is present inside the array. This can be used in places where you find a negative value and you are sure that it is positive. For example, in a dataset there is a column named age and you find a negative value inside that. Then you can be sure that it is a data entry error. So you can use such kind of functions to make it positive. Now if you print ARR3, you can see that the negative value is not gone. This is because this will just display the output and it will not store to any variable. So what I am going to do is I am going to store it into array3 itself. Now array3 will not have negative values. Now we will check what is the sqrt function. Sqrt function will take the square root of all the elements of this particular array. So here you can see that the last row of the array was 9 and in the square root function it has took the square root, which is 3, and similarly it has taken the square root of all other elements. Now we have one more function which is the type, which will display what kind of variable it is. Now we have some more functions in p.zeros. This will print an array. There is a spelling mistake. This will print an array with all the elements as 0. Similarly, we have ones also. This will print an array with all the values as 1. And we have one more, which is the identity matrix. This will print an identity matrix. Identity matrix is a matrix where the diagonal elements are 1. You must note that for 0 matrix and 1 matrix you have to use 2 symbol brackets while declaring, or else it will throw you an error, whereas for an identity matrix symbol bracket is enough. Now I am creating 2 more variables, a and b, with arrange function. And I am reshaping it in a different pattern. So this is my A and my B is and I am reshaping it in another pattern. So this is my A, this is my B. Now we have something known as dot product here. So A dot B. So this will print the dot product, or which is simply the matrix multiplication. So this should satisfy the condition of matrix multiplication, which means the number of columns of the first row or the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. Only if it satisfies this condition you will get an output, or else it will throw you an error. Now we have one more function which is known as arr3.t, which will print the transpose of a matrix. Transpose of an array is formed when we interchange rows and columns. So that's all in NumPy. You can explore more on NumPy and study other features as well. Please go through all this and try it out yourself. Thanks for watching.